I'm dying. I am like so warm right now, and I can feel the fact that I'm just completely stuck to this chair. Anyway, hope you're well, Elysium. Hope you're good. Hope you're not dying in the heat. I feel exhausted as well. I feel like I am so tired. I think it's like having to deal with bubs. Dealing with bubs all day. Yeah, it's definitely weren't as bad as yesterday. Like I was actually able to like go in the garden and hang washing up and not feel like I need to like run back in the house. I think it's just because our houses are so good at like keeping all the heat in. It's just not good for this weather. I need to try and like, and our windows are an absolute nightmare. One, they don't open all the way, and the ones that do open quite far, they always tend to catch the wind, and because we have these stupid blinds that we've had like since we moved in, we need to change them, but it'll be too expensive. And they're just like constantly flapping about, and they're ripped within an inch of their lives now. They are just absolutely like they've had it, but they're good at like keeping the sun out. So yeah, if you like, you either have the windows wide open and then hear like the flapping and everything. They are really loud, yeah. So it's like you can't have the windows open too much of a night because all you'll hear is like the crash bang wallop of all the blinds. So fun times. Anyway, happy hump day. I'm happy because I've booked to see Thor tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's not bats, no. Not the fapping bats. Definitely not. Right. Let's try and get on with this, shall we? Because I want to get this done today. And the way I'm feeling, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it done. Everything's really warm. Like my controller's really warm. Can't open my windows at night. It's a neighbour's dog box. Oh no. See, we have like annoying, noisy neighbours because they're always like, because it's a home for like teenagers, for kids, in terms of like, I think that it's like for kids with like severe autism. They're not bad. The kids aren't bad. It's the bloody staff these days. They have their office in the back garden like like it's a giant shed. And lately we've been having the patio door open and they're just constantly slamming it. And it sounds like they're literally in our garden. It's so bloody noisy. So I just like, they've not woken up Bubs yet because Bubs's bedroom is right above like where their shed is. So no, it's not woken him up yet, but one day I'm sure. Hi Jaden, how are you feeling? How are you getting on? Has your chemo started yet? If so, I hope it's going okay. I hope you're not feeling too bad on it. God, sorry, keep shadows. I'll try. I feel like I'm about to fall asleep though. It's the one good thing about the heat is that it makes Bubs go to sleep quicker. It's the one thing. As long as he doesn't have a danger nap. Yeah, my router was so hot yesterday I couldn't connect to the internet. No. I think Jay's work had issues because of the heat. Because yeah, he's had to go into the office the last 2 days, so it's just been me and Bubs. So that was fun. But anyway, let's get started, shall we? Let's see how I get on. Let me know if you have any issues with the sound or whatever. It's not started yet. I have a consultation with the chemo nurse tomorrow. Oh, so you're going to get dates? Oh, okay. I was going to say I'd be surprised if it was really that quick. We're okay. We're good. Just trying to survive the heat. How are you finding it? For the hunter of the world. Yeah, it's lovely to see you, Nina. This is where I came in. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Oh no, I pulled a switch, didn't I? Why did I like pull a switch that would have told me where I'm going? And then ended the stream because now I've got no idea where I'm going.
Oh no! Fanny's exposed!
Yeah, can everyone hear everything okay? I turned everything right down because it was right in my ear. It was getting my nerves. The heat is unbearable. Like, you could probably hear my fan. Oh, thank you for the 20 bits, Norsk. Hope you're good. She's probably like the fuck are you going on about with this heat? Nothing. Norse that lives in the desert. Coming in flashing her bits, I know. We love Norse going her bits. Never get bored with them. Sweaty bits. Yay. Right. Where am I actually going? Because I wasn't concentrating. Whee! Was it up? I did try my best, but she was useless. I think all our fans are useless, to be fair. It's now blowing things off the bookcase. So I just see things go flying. Oh, it starts already. Nina's like, I'm here for the smut. Not even started, not even in the first 10 minutes. Oh, because we're not hot enough right now. Hi Hester, hope you're well. She's protesting. Oh no, I think everyone's fans are protesting. At least it's not like when I was pregnant with Bubs, all our fans broke. Every single one. It was like the hottest year we'd had or something, and yeah, all the fans broke. It was horrible. There is no roll. Did I read all of Brothels and Baths? Because I'm looking at these, I'm thinking, I don't remember these. I'm going to have to read these. They're just so funny. No, I don't think I read all of these. I'm trying to think. I don't think I read this one. Right. So yes, this is Brothels and Baths. So, a 2,000-year-old brothel has recently been unearthed at Salonika in Greece. All kinds of sex toys were found inside, including a small clay dildo, several erotic figurines, and a red pitcher with a phallic spout. There were also innumerable offerings to Aphrodite, the goddess of love. The room containing this material of the 1st century BC conveniently bordered a bathhouse. Read them. Nina wants a smut. Clay, I know. Can you imagine? Oh. I was an August baby and it was that hot that they had to have the windows open. My mum said there were swarms of wasps coming in. No. It's like it was horrible because I suffer really badly with my hay fever, as you probably know, and you can't take antihistamines when you're pregnant either. So it was horrible. I was not having a fun time when I was pregnant. At Pompeii, sometimes taverns had rooms for prostitution upstairs, where the names of waitresses and prostitutes are found scribbled on walls. The graffiti referred to the women's vices and attractions and announced that some women can be had for 2 as, the price of a loaf of bread. But these may be written as insults rather than reflect a true price. The highest price of a woman is given as 16 as. We love a phallic-shaped prick. Hell yeah. Keep them on my windowsill. We'll read one more, so we've got plenty of reading material going forward, because I'll come back to this one. Strabo, the Greek geographer of the 1st century BC, said Corinth had more than 1,000 prostitutes. He tells of a Corinthian courtesan who was reproached for being lazy and refusing to do woolworking. In her bawdy reply, she punned on the word histos, which can refer to anything erectable. Hi, Chris. You came in at the right time. Including a loom. Such as I am, in this short time I have taken down 3 looms erections already. Erections in brackets. Yes. I've got a piece of paper in here, I need to bookmark it. There we go. It's actually the autographs of the actually would help if I had it up the right way. The guys that wrote the book. So you've got Paul Barn and what's his name? Bill Tidy. Bill Tidy's the artist. Hope you're well, Chris. Alright. There we go. Okay, so let's see if I can actually figure out what I'm doing. We're melting currently in the UK. But I hope you're well. Am I going the right way? Yeah. I'm assuming so. But they just come out me. Oh, I'm a bit cold. I've got no hot water. No. I can't remember. There we go. What even was that? Wait, I forgot all buttons. I'm napped out of it today. Nope. Kick him in the ass. No! Oh. Okay, we'll just wait. Rip. How's everyone's weeks going? Other than, obviously I know people in the UK are currently melting. For 2 weeks? No. Why is your week going so terrible? Is it because of your hot water? I hope nothing else. This happened, did. Where am I going? Oh,
Oh no!
oh no!
Fanny's exposed!
So you're giving your neighbours an eyeful, basically. Well, as we say on this channel, you need to let it breathe. Jump across. There we go. Oh no.
Answer the question, damn your eyes!
I am enjoying this DLC, yes. I think I could enjoy it. I wish I could enjoy it in like happier times when I'm not dying. There we go. I can just feel heat radiating from the PC right now. I'm hoping it lasts. Wrong one. Right. Let's just wait to charge up. Because that's good. Boom. Okay, so I kind of get like an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing. Bottom half is coming. It's just so hot. I can imagine it's not fun. Why does the UK have to be just like so rubbish when it comes to heat? I must overwrite. Okay, fine. Let's overwrite that one. If the Greeks can have clay, I can have mosquitoes. Ah! What did it was the Greeks. Greeks love their clay, obviously. What way am I going? Really? I prefer a man to it. Yeah, no one's judging. Those Greeks were wild. Yeah, a little bit too much. Okay, so I've got to jump this way. There we go. These jumps always look too far, but I forget just how unrealistic her jumping distance is. I underestimate her. You're right, Hester. don't fall in there. Where's the snack? Oh, really? Where am I? Oh. Is it? Oh, okay. It cheated and helped me land safely. Yay. Gun time. Oh no, don't get stuck! Oh fuck. I mean, my ancestors had sex mostly during the festivities of the Greek Dionysian. During some festivities to honour Aphrodite. Yeah. I mean, if you wait that long, you're gonna be pretty eager, aren't you? Have a few kinks. Oh, thank you, Elysium. I definitely need to do that. Jay bought himself a giant water bottle the other day. So he's not dead to start drinking from it yet because he just knows he's just weeing everything. Why? Why get stuck? I don't know what my ancestors were doing, to be fair. Except travelling across Europe, I think. There we go. But yeah, some of you will know, because we were talking about it the other day on Discord. I'm looking to go through a bit of rebranding. I thought I'd mention it because obviously now I've decided I'm definitely going to go ahead with it. I thought I'd let everyone else know. You really... Oh, she's stuck out. Get out of here. Yeah. The game is louder than me. What the hell? How's that? I thought the game would be quieter than me because I've turned it right down. There we go. Have I got... Oh. Better, that's good. But yeah, anyway, I'm looking to do a bit of rebranding. I'm not going to change up my the artwork and stuff. That cost me too much money. It's just going to be, I'm going to rename my channels and stuff so everything matches up. And for those that still watch them. For those that do watch them, I will most likely be stepping away from vlogging, at least for the time being.
Jason!
He's gone to water the garden like the good husband that he is. Come on.
No, Daddy, no.
Why? What are you doing? Lara Croft talks. That's interesting. Oh, don't you dare. That's one to consider. But no, because I've got like Twitter and Insta as Lorienne, I was thinking of just going for like a iteration of that, like so everything matches up. Hi Sam, hope you're well. So yeah, that's the plan. But yeah, I've just had so many ideas for so long, and it's like I have my Tomb Raider 2 top 5 levels that I've had sitting there for like 18 months, and it's still not finished because I just don't have the time to do it, especially now because I've got like where I've been working on the videos with Rosie, and for like obviously the ones with Rosie take priority because that's a current thing that we're doing. But it just keeps getting pushed back, and I was supposed to do a load of stuff with my Tomb Raider fan site Survivor Reborn, like me and AJ are supposed to be doing stuff, but again that's just fallen by the wayside. So there's so many things that I want to be doing, and I just can't do it because I don't have the time. So unless I was able to afford an editor for my vlogs, they're just gonna have to not exist anymore. Don't cancel Rose's segment. Oh, don't worry, I never would. It's getting ready to go to bed. Oh, okay, no worries. Hope you're well though. Hope you had a good week and stuff. Right, now where am I going? Have I got to climb back up? I don't understand. See, I don't go in the water. In the blue goop. It may be there. Okay. Thank you, game, for telling me that's where we're going. Nice. The most hilarious thing. Oh, thank you so much, Angel Ash, for subscribing. 7-month streak. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope you're well. Video is the most hilarious thing on the gaming internet. I'm glad you think so, Chris. We're having a great time with it. Can I... What? Excuse me? What? Oh, you... Oh. How do you get time? What? Let's go. Dead. Yeah, I've got really into like my ghost stuff lately, so I really want to do some ghosty things on my channel. So I have a few ideas of what I want to do. I said I want to try and finish my top 5 levels for each of the Tomb Raider games. Why? Great, just finished and also painted inside my hallway cupboard. Look at you! Ghost stuff. I love ghost stuff. I am like just full of ghost stories. I love them so much. I used to freak myself out as a kid because I'd just borrow so many ghost books from the library, and then I just couldn't go upstairs on my own. I'd be too scared. Like me and Jay have done so many like ghost events and stuff. I've still yet to like experience anything myself. There we go. Huzzah! Did it. A girl with many talents. She is. She's an inspiration now, Ash. Is that right? I've experienced some stuff firsthand and shit my pants. I can't lie, really? Ooh, I'll have to have you as a guest on my on my channel, because that's the sort of thing I'd love to do, is like have people that have experienced spooky stuff and come on and like tell their ghost stories and things. But I'm one of those people where I really want to believe that ghosts are real, but when I've had sort of things that would count as experiences, I find there's a rational explanation for them. I'm one of those, like, I've come across so many people on the ghost hunts that we've done. We have come across so many people that are just so desperate to believe that they'll believe anything. So yeah, but I'm one of those people, I'm like kind of in the middle. I've wanted my whole life for it to be real and to experience stuff, but when I have possibly experienced stuff, I've always found that there's a like feasible explanation for it. Ghosts are real. Is this what I did before? I think I remember this from when the game crashed on me. But not in a form that we know of yet. Caught up with the stuff you played before. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember how I did it because my memory sucks. Was it I personally like ghost stories, but I don't believe in ghosts. My mind is too rational and more scientific. Same, like, there's a guy that I follow, I think his name's Kieran O'Keefe, and he's a parapsychologist, and I find the stuff when he talks about sort of the scientific side, or like how he explains ghosts, or like the paranormal stuff that people experience, I just find it so fascinating because I love psychology as well. And like he says, fear is a very powerful emotion, and it can lead to so many different sort of things happening. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Really, really interesting. Buonasera, Daniel. Come stai? How you doing? Happy hump day. And a few finishing touches in my new flat. Oh, excellent. We're doing decorating, or are you just like putting together furniture and stuff? It was one of our gusto meals. It was salmon with mustard cream sauce. Oh, don't. That sounds really good. Should do Twitch interviews, what with people that have had ghosty experiences. I'd love to do that. But I'm one of those people, like, because I listen to so many of like there's a podcast I listen to when I'm doing my exercises called Real Life Ghost Stories, and people send in, like, the girl is amazing. I absolutely love her. She is fantastic. She's this Irish girl that lives in Canterbury, I think, and her sense of humour is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love her. But she reads out these ghost stories, and I'm listening to them, and sometimes, you know, we're just like, that didn't happen, you're just making that up. But what she goes like non-judgmental, and she was like, people could be making them up, or they could be a real experience. She was like, I don't differentiate either way. So she says, so it's up to the person listening to decide whether or not they think it's real. She said, I don't get involved with that sort of stuff. But for me, I would be the sort of person that I would love to be like, did that happen though? Are you sure? Because like the amount of times you hear people say, oh, I woke up and I couldn't move, and there was someone like sat on my chest and I tried screaming for, oh no, yeah, I tried screaming for my partner and I couldn't, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, but that's just like sleep paralysis. I've had that plenty of times, so you know, it's like different things like that. But yeah, I'd feel really bad if someone was just like, oh, and I went through this and it was absolutely horrifying. And I'd be like, yeah, but that sounds like this. I'd be like, I'm really sorry. I just can't. I'm too cynical. Where am I going? Could interview someone about the psychology of fear. Yeah, that would be a really interesting one, actually. I'd love to get Kieran O'Keefe on the show. That would be really good. On my show. Because he did... Ooh. Ah, okay, I see it. Seen a Twitch interview lately with an actor. So it was fantastic. Oh, okay. I believe there's scientific explanations for everything, but there are things in the universe that we cannot explain. That's the same with me in terms of I like to believe there's another sort of side that we don't necessarily know about. So I like to be spiritual, but unfortunately I've yet to really experience anything that would prove like spiritual, like the existence of anything spiritually speaking. I mean, like I said, I have had how did you survive that? How? Boom. No, we've had a few things. I'm trying to think of like one that pops to mind. Okay, we're not supposed to do that. Oh, you don't like ghost stories, and Dan. Yeah, I need to catch up. Yeah, I know Rap has a ghost experience. He's actually told me, I think, his experience. Because he lives near a fort, and I think it happened at the fort.
The garden has had its thirst quenched and soaked me in process. I'm grateful gingerly that it is. Smiley face.
Well, at least it will keep you cool. Right. Sorry, what am I going up to? Gaming mum interviews. First image James, but yeah, I need to see that. I haven't looked at that properly. I like to keep seeing a picture of it and just scrolling past. I've been, like I said, I've been so out of it today. Is it more as like memories are chemicals that are trapped in the brain? If that's the case, it's not such a far-fetched idea that the same kind of thing could happen in the real world. And again, the things I've experienced can't be explained that way always because I've been touched. So that's weird. I've had my first ghost experience that I've had is a ghost touching my bum. That was one of my first experiences. It was the very first ghost hunt that me and Jay did, and I was absolutely terrified. Like before, because it was the first one we did, I just didn't know what to expect, and I was absolutely terrified. And you walk around in the dark, and they tell you all these ghost stories as you're walking around. And I think at one point Jay put like a comforting hand on my shoulder, but because I didn't realise it was him, I really freaked out. It scared the shit out of me. So I think I turned around and like punched him because I was like so scared. And he was kind of like, oh, sorry, I won't do that again. And then we were in this room, like they were telling us like the last ghost story, and it was dark again, and or it was dark still, and they're talking to us about the ghost in this room, and I felt like something like brushed past my bum. And I turned around like I was gonna literally just like slap Jay again, but he was like quite far away from me at that point. Obviously he was scared I was gonna hit him again, so he wasn't near me. No one was actually near me at the time, so it was kind of like, what the hell? And then I didn't say anything until we went back to like, you have like this hub like area where you kind of sit and you have like tea, coffees, because obviously it starts at like 10 o'clock at night and goes on to like 3 o'clock in the morning, so they provide like tea and biscuits just to keep everyone going. And I was talking to the guy that was running it, and he said to me like, he asked has anyone had any experiences, and I said, well, I had one, and he said, okay, tell me what it is. And I said, oh yeah, I felt as if someone like touched my bum, and he was like, oh okay. It was like, I'll have to he said after the night, like at the end of the night, we'll sit down and we'll have a chat. And he never did. He completely forgot about it. But then I went on their forum that they had to sort of post about my experience, and it was only when I looked for the place that we actually did the hunt, and I was looking to see when the last thing was, and one of the last posts was from the year before, and a woman posted on there to say in the exact same room she felt someone touch her bum as well. And apparently there's meant to be a guy in there, like a bit of a lech, who was not exactly sort of fond of consent, and would actually just touch random women's bums on ghost hunts. So I was like, okay. But anyway, it was just quickly read through the chat again because I went off on a tangent. Some people like to believe something that can be explained scientifically was in fact paranormal. Yeah, we've seen so much of that on these ghost hunts. That's why we haven't really gone on many anymore, because it makes you more and more cynical. The more you go on, the more cynical you become, I think. I heard someone talk about it one time, like when people say how like ghosts can travel through walls and stuff, and someone explained it as they walk old layouts of that environment, yeah, which at the time may not have been a wall, which would back up my belief of it being chemical memories of the world in general. I think it's kind of, if it's anything, it's like a leftover like energy. That's how I've always seen it, as not necessarily like a spirit. It's just energy that person has left behind. If they spent a lot of time there, or there was like an experience that happened that was like highly traumatic, or there was a lot of energy in the vicinity, then that would be what's left behind, sort of thing. That's my thought on it anyway. Mate of mine swore he seen a banshee fly out of the wardrobe. Okay. That might be a bit far-fetched. Spectral realm being built of the memories of people who lived there is certainly an interesting concept I'm exploring in my books. Ooh. But you don't believe that. Yes, me and you have to sit down then, Nina, and I wanna go through it with you then. I'm obsessed with James Webb telescope and music pics. Yes, I need to look. It is very hot where we are. It's better today than it was yesterday. Yesterday was muggy as fuck. The sun went out, it was cloudy, but it was just so warm. But because I'm sat in this tiny little room, it's just absolutely, it's just, yeah, I'm just absolutely melting. There's an awesome YouTube channel about UK astrophysics physicist. She's super excited about all that and explains it to people. Ooh, I'll have to look at that. Hi Rosie! Sorry, I've just been talking about ghosties and I didn't realise that you were here. Hi sister from another mister. Hope you're well. Only ghost experience I have is getting greeted by a hideous creature at the back of a bar. It's my ex-girlfriend. Oh my god, Rosie's here! The celeb! The local celeb. Oh, no worries, you lurk away, Jaden. Sorry. Your Wi-Fi's playing up. No. The best discovery in last week was the Rosie YouTube. Aww. I'm so pleased. Yeah, everyone follow Rosie because her videos are amazing. Yes, it's scary. You know how I feel about scary ghost things. Yeah. I love them. I love them so much. My parents live in an old midwifery cottage. Oh my god, I'd love to see that. It was where the midwife lived in the 1800s in that particular village. The cottage was split into two to make two homes, like a semi-detached. My parents' half has two new extensions on it. The lady next door told my parents about how you could sometimes hear the babies crying. Oh, no. I never heard it when I lived there for years. My dad said he'd heard some stuff, but he doesn't really believe in it. However, Rosie's vids are amazing. I also love the, like, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I love the latest one because obviously, not in it, but I mentioned. But yes, so I hope to do some spooky stuff. That's the main thing I think for me is, oh, for God's sake, I want to get more variety and talk about things that like have fascinated me my whole life, and spooky things have always fascinated me, or if anything just scared the shit out of me as a kid. God, I'm on a note to take a headache tablet and could have sworn I seen it go to the pool. It was just my mum. Oh, really? Really? Oh. I remember we went to, oh, I can't think of the name of it, Jay can probably remember. Jamaica Inn? That's the name of it. Now I remember. It's an old inn on the moors. I can't remember the name of it. Jay will remember. But it's quite famous. Oh, really? Beautiful soul, and you're so good at helping with my retro gaming issues. Oh. Yay, that's good. What are you doing? No! Oh my god. Tomb Raider and stuff. Oh, that was a bit much. Do you have podcasts as well? Maybe you're not. I have been. It's been on my mind. I really want to do a podcast series like with Rosie. I think we could do an amazing podcast series, but I'm just kind of like, but what would we talk about other than just just us just talking shit? I don't really know what we could actually do. If I seen a ghost in person, I would just talk to it. I have not read any of Norse Myths yet. It's the next book I'm going to read. I have decided, because I do want to read it. But it's because it's the one. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. Where am I supposed to be going? Is it this way? I remember this being an issue last time. I couldn't remember where I was supposed to go. Am I supposed to go like higher? Bodmin Moor, that's the one. Yeah, we went there for a ghost hunt, and the ghost hunt itself was rubbish. But because like there was this woman, oh my god, she was awful. I don't even know what that was. I'm not for taking part in podcasts. We do have a lot of shit to talk. Talk for hours about music, yeah. Three-way blah blah. Us three together with Satellite the Geese from the Aristocrat. The Jamaican, there was this one woman who was like, I'm a total cynic, I don't believe in ghosts at all, I just came along to like to see if I could be proven wrong. And it's like, why would you fork out like £60 per ticket if you don't believe in ghosts? I never understand people that have that sort of mentality. So yeah, whenever people say that, I'm just like, well, that's a load of bullshit. And she did this thing like where she sat next to our friend that we went with, and she just pretended to like go all dizzy, and she was just like, like that, and my friend just freaked out. She was like, no, you can fuck off, I'm going over there. And she just walked across the room. It was really funny. Oh, your second part of your story, hang on. Where? I saw the however. I didn't see the other bit. Was it Julie McKee? But no, come on, I need to finish this before the end of the day. Where am I going? I don't understand. But yeah, so she was just a pain in the arse, and we've come across other people. I think the most disappointing one we did was the Ancient Ram Inn. That was just really depressing because it's a beautiful old building that's just falling apart because no one will look after it, and they just keep the only thing they do is do ghost hunts there, and the amount of people that just walk through it all the time, it just means it's falling apart. It's like 13th century or something. It's like super old house. And yeah, they're just letting it fall apart. But anyway, yeah, back to the Jamaica Inn. It was a super cynical ghost hunt. Nothing really happened except we were staying actually at the inn that night. Normally you stay at like a hotel like nearby, but we actually, because it's an inn, we stayed there. And we booked 2 rooms, and one of the rooms is actually seen as the haunted room. So it was me and Jay in one room, and my 2 best friends in the other room. And And like we had to decide, like we didn't say anything to my mates. We were just like, oh, you could choose between like, I think it was like room 15 and room 16. So so we said, well, which room did you two want? And we won't say anything. Oh, hi Feral. And we were like, yeah, you have first dibs. So they picked room 16, which was the haunted room, and I was like, okay, yeah, you can have that room. I was really disappointed because I wanted to stay in there. Oh, thank you, Scientist. 9 months, baby. Yeah, thank you so much. No, Lindsay sends her regards. Oh, bless her. I feel really bad for her because she's got no gym now. I know the feeling. But yeah, so they were staying in the room. We didn't say anything. I was just really disappointed. I think the main reason they chose it is because it had a 4-poster bed and they thought it was really cool. But we asked them next morning, we're like, oh, how did you sleep? And they were like, oh, we didn't sleep at all because all we kept hearing was like banging coming from the window, like as if someone was trying to get in through the window, and or like banging on the radiator or something. And one of my friends was just like, oh, do you hear that, to my other friend? And my other friend was like, no, just go to sleep, don't hear anything, it's fine. So I think that's probably like the best thing from that night. But yeah, if you go to ghost hunts, you will be extremely disappointed because nothing ever happens, and they always invite too many people, especially in like the old places, because you're trying to do like a seance or something, or like do a call out, but all you can hear is other people in the other room doing a call out as well, so you can't actually hear anything.
Answer the question, damn your eyes!
Jamaica in this bar near me with the same name, is there? Nina, where's the second part? Because I saw the bit about the midwifery cottage. Was there another bit? Because I can't see it. Bit paragraphy. Journal reminder about things that are currently going through in your life. It could be anything you know or just nonsense. Start your first podcast on Twitch or YouTube, then rant about anything, everything that comes to your mind. I'd love to see that. Oh, thank you. I'll have a think. I just tend to like, I'm one of those people though, it's like I have opinions on things, but I don't really think that my opinions are really that well thought out. So I think people would just be like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about, she's an idiot. So I tend to just keep my opinions to myself. Sorry, from the middle moving thingy, you jump left on the part with the ledge above. Oh, what's the one to the furthest in one? So the one furthest away from me, I'm assuming you mean. Where are we? Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat. That be years ago, it's just like, I'm gonna speak, you go. Thing is, if you are told a place is haunted, you will go there with that in mind, so then if you hear something you're like, oh my god, it's a ghost. I feel like going somewhere that you don't know is haunted would be better. I don't know, because like I said, like we were told, or like if you look it up, ancient Ramin, you'll see that like, where do I go, down here? Not down there. Oh. There was only 6 messages between the first and second part. So I can't see it. I saw your paragraphy one, so about the midwifery one. But then the next message I see is you talking about you want to be on the podcast. I don't see it. No, I can't see it, Nina. I'm being absolutely blind. Who needs thought out opinions? It thinks I hate certain celebrities for no reason, which is true. Go sign girl, I see you. I'm gonna show up. Like your friend, yes. My friend Russell Crowe. Bless him. I love him. That's why I booked to see Thor tomorrow. I'm so excited. Like, the main reason I'm going to go and see it is just to see Russell Crowe as Zeus. Resend it, yes please. Because, yeah, I just can't see it. As a boy, I used to think that toys came to life when you're not around. Same. And that was before Toy Story was a thing. Yeah, because blame Jay, because, you know, where he's had to go into work, which is, like, completely, like, highly inconvenient. When you and Laurie are together, you're unstoppable. We're a force of nature. There it is. Where? I don't see it. I don't see anything, Nina. I think, no, type it out as 2 messages. I have a feeling it's not sending because of the, because you can only do a certain amount of characters. So split it in 2 and that might work, because yeah, it's not coming up for me. I've done that before though, where I've sent a really long message and it's not come up and I'm like, why? Why is it working? It's the ghost. It be Gus. Beep. There we go. No! Okay, so it's not that way. Sorry, I need to read your message again, Chris. About where I'm going. Jump left on the part with the ledge above. Yeah, I don't want to tell too many stories because I want to save them for my channel, like as an introduction to my ghosty stuff. But yeah, I've been obsessed with ghosts since I was a kid. Absolutely. I don't know why. I love being scared. I love history and I love stories. Like, it's why I love like mythology and like different things like that, and all like stories of all like the gods and goddesses and demigods and blah blah blah. Like I said, I love the thought of spiritualism. Whether or not I believe it's an actual thing, I don't know. Oh, there you go. When I was pregnant, I was hearing babies crying all the time. I was in the new extension of the house, which is furthest away from the oldest part of the house, and it was coming from there. I had a momentary brain fart thinking it was my own baby, and he hadn't even been born yet. God bless her. Also, after he was born, he woke up in the night. We shared a room in the older part of the house, and I sat up in bed to check him, and I saw a figure over the cot, and he settled. Oh, God. So I laid down and went back to sleep in the morning. I said to my mum, thanks for coming to sleep in last night. She didn't. She asked JP and my other brother and my dad. None of them have been in. Oh my God. Ugh. Yeah, so we always thought that like my nan was watching over Bubs. Because I think a few times like Bubs has said, oh, like Nanny's in the corner or something, like hi Nanny and stuff when Joe's trying to put him to sleep. I don't need to jump. No, I really don't understand where I'm going. I did it last time, I just can't remember what I had to do. Wasn't this where the game crashed? That's what is coming to mind. Or do I have to jump over there? I feel like I need to go up there and turn that off. I feel like I want to go over there, but I don't think I can. Use the right thingy to jump into the middle, moving thingy. And when it's at the highest point, there's a ledge moving left towards the large walkway. Large walkway. What large walkway? I'm so sorry, Chris. I've got... Oh, this one. that one?
Fucking dinosaur.
Wouldn't that be cool if there was like ghost dinosaurs? That'd be amazing. Like one time Isaac drew everyone who lived in our flat. There was me, him, my ex-husband, and a fourth person. I was like, mate, who's that? He said he didn't know. Pair that with the freaky stuff that was going on with me at the time. That spooky as hell. Whoa. Yeah, definitely save the rest. What you should do, because I have a spooky space on my Discord. You should write some ghost stories in there. Ghost stories on Twitch, we're interested at the same time. I love, like I said, I live for ghost stories. I absolutely love them. I might not necessarily believe them. Like, I believed them when I was younger. They absolutely terrified me before. But I keep feeling something on my hand. I don't know what, I think it was like a bit of fluff that my, like, fan kept blowing out. I was like, why is there something tickling my hand? Ghost energy on. Okay, so I know it's this way, so I've got to think... Is there like a ledge then? Is that what you were saying? I find the possibility of being reborn really interesting. Yeah, I used to believe like really heavily in reincarnation. That was like my thing as a teenager. Above me. I don't see anything. I can see that's the ledge I need to go to, but how do I jump to there? Ah, do I have to use this? Ah, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. I finally got it. It's gonna take me fucking forever. So to get me onto this, like, the topic of ghost stories. And that's it, I'm done. I'll definitely come with the spook on the Discord. Yes! There's another one I follow as well. I think it's Classic Ghost Stories, it's called, but he just reads like, yeah, just like classic ghost stories. Like he will read Charles Dickens and like different things like that. And he's just got one of those voices. It's really good for old style ghost stories. I'm going to save because it's taken me long enough to figure this bit out. Yeah, spirit level. That's what you mean, Sam. Oh, I hear the music. That means I'm close, doesn't it? Go, 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 go. Oh, fuck. My mom said when my big brother was born, she could smell cigar smoke in the house, and my great-granddad used to smoke cigars. She got a medium in, and they said it was just him popping in to see his great-grandchild. Like, I never saw me. He didn't care about you. Oh. It's like, yeah, my mum and my sister have been to a lot of mediums. They haven't recently, but it used to really piss me off because I was like, mate, you know I'm like the biggest believer in ghosts in the family, and yet you never have taken me to see a medium because I'd love that shit. But they've never done it. And they said about the time, I think it was my mum's aunt who'd recently died of cancer, was watching over my sister. And then there was someone else watching over my mum and my dad, and I was like, oh yeah, no one's watching over me then, no one gives a fuck about me. So for fuck's sake. Go, go, go. Woo! There we go. Where are we going? This way. Nope. That way. Save. For the love of God. Here's a creepy story. I always hear scratching at my back door at night, but it didn't worry me because I knew it was just my dog. But now I don't have them anymore. Now the scratching really does. Have you ever heard those ones where it's like, tell a really scary story in 2 sentences? It's like, they're brilliant. They're really good. It's the whole reason I still follow BuzzFeed on social media, to be fair, because they always post really spooky stories. To be fair, with the medium and mum told her to fuck off, he was scaring the baby. Brilliant. I'm sometimes wondering if people who died are somewhere and are watching. I guess my dad might have second thoughts about me having fun. I think they know when to watch, if there is such a thing. If they do watch, I do think they know to pick their time wisely. Like maybe when you're alone and you're like, if you're going through a tough time or whatever, they just know to be there. I gotta use a lot. They're so much better. Yeah. There's a guy also I've just discovered. Like I said, I love some of the ghost podcasts I follow because they give you some really good ones to recommend. Because I love listening to them when I go running. Really, really good to listen to when I go running. I can't listen to music at the moment because when I listen to music, my pace tends to get quicker and then I get tired. But if I'm listening to just people talking, when I just listen to people talking, it's not as bad. My pace can be a lot slower. My favourite is I checked under the bed and there is no monster, but if you like, you can come and join us in our bed. It's the only way you can get the child out without letting the thing know him. Sorry, I'm called up. Hi, Rap. Hey, you joined just at the right time. We're talking ghost stories. It's not because I've been midway through a sexy time before I was called by my Nancy. Amazing. Ow. Yeah, everyone's here. The cool peeps are in town. It's the spoopy space today. Talking ghosties. So then in my dreams I feel like there's something wrong. Finally updating. Ow! Do you like horror series? Because check out Mandela Cat. Ooh! See, I'm one of those... I don't like horror movies in terms of like gore. I hate gore. Like The Others is one of my absolute favourite horror movies because it's just super creepy and like the atmosphere is top notch. I love The Conjuring. The Conjuring I find really good. Although I don't have time for demons. Demons I find just I can't fathom their existence. I think because I'm not really religious, I don't see demons actually being a thing. Oh. Demons are demonic. Love all horror genres, give it to me, baby. Yeah, I love ghosty films. Like Woman in Black, I love. Love, love, love Woman in Black. The theatre production of that is amazing. I still really want to go and see, there's currently a show in London by like my favourite ghost writer at the moment called, he's called Danny Robbins. And he did a really, really good podcast on Spotify called Uncanny. Oh. And yeah, and he does like ghost stories and stuff, but he brings in cynics and people that believe in ghosts. And this is where I heard the name again, Kieran O'Keefe. So that's how I found him again, because he used to be on Most Haunted. He was their cynic on there. But yeah, then he came back again with Danny Robbins. But yeah, Uncanny, and he did the Battersea Poltergeist, which is on BBC Sounds. That was really good. That was really creepy. But yeah, he's just written a theatre show. It's called 2:22 AM, I think, and it's got Tom Felton in it at the moment. But I really, really want to go and see it. So I'm most likely going to have to go and see it by myself. But I need to save up for tickets because it's like £65 a ticket. It's so expensive. Oh. Right, comes to my mind, have you had any dreams recently with dead people you know? No. I've never had a dream with a dead relative. The only dream I've had where someone I know had died recently, I think. I might be getting the timing wrong, but it's the only one that comes to mind is of the dog we had when I was a kid. I had a dream about her, and I can't remember if it was after she'd died or if it was just before she died or whatever. But yeah, that was a horrible dream. I didn't like that very much. Yeah, it's never been a thing that I've dreamed of people that I know that have died. Oh, gothic horror is great. Yes, love a bit of gothic horror. Sometimes dream about lost relatives is really freaky. I can imagine that's horrible, especially like if it's really realistic, and then you wake up and remember that they're gone. I hear Mandela, and I think Mandela effect, which is a whole other topic. Yes. Mandela effect is really interesting. I don't believe in vampires, just ID. To quote Kiss, I was raised by the team. So now I've seen it for myself that she's this real. And dragons, yes. Oh no! I particularly love classical horror such as vampires, werewolves, and Frankenstein. Like I said, you would love this podcast. I'm pretty sure it's called Classic Ghost Stories, and it's just this guy that just reads all like the classic horrors, and like he reads what's his face, like Lovecraft. He reads Charles Dickens. He reads Edgar Allan Poe, and he just has like the best voice. I can't think of the other. There's one ghost story he read which really like affected me because it was just awful. And I can't think of the name of the guy who wrote it, but he was I didn't know about him until I heard this ghost story, but he was really well known at the time for his ghost stories. He was kind of like the British Edgar Allan Poe.
The machine no longer protects, not now I can finish.
Yeah, I'm on the last leg. Right. Before I go on to that though, I need to read. I've just seen you've redeemed Disgraceful Feral. I went back to the fort. I showed you for a night walk. Did you? Or did you have any more spoopy times? The thing is that sometimes you think they never died in your dreams and they're still alive. I can imagine that's the worst thing. My dead people pet dreams are always of them being resurrected. Can't imagine how awful that would be. And if I go back, chat, there we go. I do too. I see my grandma sometimes. It's so weird. Love some Lovecraft, yes, definitely. Bram Stoker's inspiration for Dracula was actually a Romanian leader called Vlad the Impaler. Yeah, know that much. No cutscene. Yeah, but I took some pretty pics. Yeah, I go running at our local fort, which is apparently very haunted. It has a lot of like tunnels underneath that are close to the public. Well, the whole thing's close to the public at the moment because our pricks of a bloody council have closed it and leaving it to rot. But it's such an old area. It's like down the road is like a Anglo-Saxons, or one of the earliest Anglo-Saxon settlements they think in our area. It's right on the river, like opposite, like across the river from where we are is where Pocahontas was actually buried, because like she died, didn't she, on the ship going back to America, and they basically just dumped her in the nearest town, which is like just across the river from us. It's like There's a lot of history around it because we're right on the river direct into London. I can imagine it was like Romans would have sailed down there, Vikings, they all would have gone that way. It's like you see a lot of mudlarkers, like people when the tide goes out from the river, and people go onto the shore and just like see if they can find any like historical shiny things. You're not supposed to; it's illegal on that side of the river. But you'll still see people do it, and I can imagine you'd find a lot of stuff that gets washed up in the river. But yeah, it's a very historical area, and that's why I love running around there, because I live for history. I love it so much. I really wish to see my grandmother in my dream, but somehow it's never happened. Oh, we need to do our spoopy stream this year. Yes, for God's sake. Stop procrastinating on it. Let's just get it sorted. Well, that's what we were talking about. Angel Ash says I should do like a series on like spoopy stuff or like the psychology of fear. I definitely want to do that. I'll have to link you guys to the series, because that's where Kieran O'Keefe was talking about it, the psychology of fear, in I think it was Battersea Poltergeist series. But it's really, really interesting. It's really, really good. Definitely worth listening to if you're into that sort of stuff. Because it tells the ghost story, but then it has him giving like the rational, sort of more scientific side to it. Really, really good. Spooky Stream month, yeah. Well, that would be October, wouldn't it? Although we're going to be in Derby. So, you know, we'll build a campfire somewhere in the like Derby town centre and just tell ghost stories. What was I go up to? Twitch has a guest feature now. It's a guest feature. I'm gonna go see where she's buried. I need to go and see. We've driven past it. We've driven past the cemetery that she's buried in, and you can see her statue, because there's a statue for her there. But we've not actually been in it. But yeah, I definitely want to go visit at some point. I really want to take Bubs there to see her. Make it easy to fight someone. Oh, okay. There's no actual evidence from Bram Stoker based Dracula's castle on Transylvania Castle. Oh, okay. I definitely know Dracula was based on Vlad the Impaler. Wasn't Dracula written when she was like sort of stuck in a like snowstorm with a bunch of friends, and she was just like really bored. So she was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna write. Maze Head Hotel. What's so bad about that? I've done a most haunted episode there back in the day. Ah, okay. Maybe we could do spoopy streaming. Yeah, definitely spoopy stream. Yeah, definitely. I said you'll have to come and stay here, and we'll tell ghost stories, and then you have to try and sleep in our house. How legit that was, I don't know, but it is really haunted there in general. Ah, okay. Maybe I'll come and visit at some point. Yes, definitely. That's a great ideas and inspiration in tonight's stream. I love creativity. It makes my brain work in full. Yeah, I'm so pleased. Well, October is always horror month, to be fair. That's like October is when I'm just like bringing out all the spoopy shit. I love it. It sounds like a good time. It always is. You're talking about horror. Pretty sure he wrote Dracula in London's. Ah, okay. But I'm really tired. I need to go to bed. Oh, no worries. It was lovely to see you, Sam. I hope you have a lovely evening and a good night. But yeah, I love. Have you ever been to Whitby Abbey? Whitby Abbey is amazing, because I know that was helped to inspire the story of Dracula. So, I love it there. Anyway, back to Feral's bloody redemption. So talking about spoopy stuff just gets me on a tangent. Okay, where did we get up to? So we're reading from the chapter Brothels and Baths for those that are like recently joined. Frankenstein turned 202 this year. Blimey. That's like the OG science fiction novel, isn't it? Prophylactic. We all go on a ghost walk together. We should see if there's one in Derby, or if there's one like nearby or something. I love ghost walks. They're amazing. If you ever go to York, you have to do one in York. So good. Are we doing something disgraceful? We are. Feral redeemed it ages ago. I keep meaning to do
Granny's
it.
exposed!
Okay, right. A fragment by the 4th century playwright Alexis of Thury provides a catalogue of tricks whereby an artful madam prepares her novice slave prostitutes for business, including elevator shoes and false buttocks to satisfy customers who were partial to women's rear ends. They must also have charming manners. Does she have healthy teeth? By force, she's kept laughing so that the customers see that what a dainty mouth she has. If she doesn't like to laugh, she must spend the day indoors with a twig of myrrh upright between her lips, just like the goats' heads displayed in this way at the butcher's shop, so that the customers will buy them. That way, in time, she smiles whether she likes it or not. I was going to say, that is you an artful madam. Here we go. Prostitutes in the ancient port of Ephesus wore sandals with reverse lettering on the sole. So they stamped "Follow me" on the sand as they walked. A carved stone footprint of this kind can be seen in the city ruins. And there's the last one for brothels and baths. In the entrance hall of a Pompeii brothel is a painting of a man holding a double penis, maybe one for action and one for luck. Pompeii had 12,000 inhabitants and 34 brothels. One Roman word for a prostitute was nonaria, 9th hour, which, as they counted time from dawn, meant 4 p.m, the time when brothels opened. One painting of sex in a Pompeii brothel has lente impelle written above it, which means push slowly. Oh, and this is the artwork for it. Where's it gone? Ah, where did it go? Come on. If you can see it. Please don't. Pompeii, we're always Pompeii. I love it. One for action, one for luck. Well, because penises were seen as good luck. That was the whole thing with them. Whip. They had them everywhere. Penises everywhere. Where am I going? Just gonna boom. Love the fact I was aiming for you, but I thought you were your friend. Smack, smack, smack. Hey, that's rude. Uh-oh. Troll. Penis has never made me unhappy, so now I'm into it. What are you doing? 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 Whoop. There we go. One. Rude. Ah, bugger. I had penises. Your ears pricked up then. Hey. What? Can I shoot him? No! Rude! There we go. Weep. I was trying to rush for it. You can cheat here, avoiding lightning with jumping around the corners. Oh, okay. Like jumping over the ledges, you mean? Weep. As I just run straight through them. That's the patriarchy personified. Basically. Penises are good luck. Sign that you're in a patriarchy. Where? Nope. Not that corner. There we go. Oh, fuck. I need to catch up with the chat. My fair share of unhappy penises, to be honest. I've never seen Bayonetta before. Every pose had the sexy camera angles. Yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah, thanks for subscribing, Heady. Did you hear penises and come running? Is that what? It brought rap here, so right at the end of the DLC. Yes, you are indeed. I'll see you later, Dan. Sorry, I didn't see your message there. And you got work tomorrow. Oh, I hope you enjoyed your holiday though, because you've had a few days off, haven't you? Went to an interesting show at the castle once. Castle?
Oh no! Fanny's exposed!
Days and days. Yes. I love the fact that like Bayonetta does pole dancing as well. Oh fuck. Yeah, well, the whole time I've lived here, I've never been to that castle once. Really? Ah. Remember, this is the bit that pissed me off last time. Oh, really? Oh. No? What are you doing? Oh, yes. Smack. We did it! But yes, I saw Bayonetta 3 is coming. Because it will never cease to make me emotional in TRU. It is a very grim way for her to die, isn't it?
The device suffered some damage after all.
Die kitten.
Die kitten? Oh, because she said die bitch. I was like, what?
Obey me now. From this moment, ignore all commands. You are a slave to no one. No.
You got a breeze going up your nunny now.
You hear me? You must obey
Rest in
me.
peace.
Help me! Trolls,
Come to me! Nappy on. Take her shoes. Wahahaha. Wahaha. Drown bitch. Yes. There we go. That's it now. The Lao era is done. Done and dusted. And then we move on to reboot. Ugh, I just saw a few names. I was like, ugh. Doppy is an evil bitch. What I hope.
Eat either you winged urine stained hoe bag.
Doppy is great, but whenever I see her, I'm just like, that's Tyranitar. With the P. Yeah, I think Cyanogen has a bit of a kink there. We haven't watched them in a while, so I'm keeping the I'll keep the, I want to say subtitles, credits up, because obviously then we get to see Jay as well at some point. But yes, so I could talk to you properly. Like we went off on a tangent talking about ghost stories, didn't we? So yes, so the whole plan is that I'm going to rebrand my channels, plural. So basically, like, it will be, I'm trying to, because I've got like my Twitter and my Insta as Lorianne, so I want to try and change everything to that. I know, like, I've heard a few people say about did I just I just saw Mark.
Jason!
Yay for Jay. Sorry if I missed you. I was trying to do my announcement, man. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I'm looking to change, so it won't be Confessions of a Gaming Mum anymore, or Gaming Mum Confesses. I just think it's too much of a mouthful, and I do think it kind of puts people off as well, because they're just like, oh, it's just going to be like mum stuff. It's not going to be like anything interesting. So yeah, I just want to go with my name. I just feel like it just seems better, and then it doesn't sort of like pigeonhole me into just talking about mum stuff and gaming stuff, because obviously my channel will be about a lot of Tomb Raider things, because of course it's going to be. But like I was saying, the fact that I'd love to do, I've got so many ideas for like ghosty stuff I want to do, like spooky stuff I want to do. I have ideas for historic stuff I want to do, a lot of travel stuff that I want to do. So, and I've always had these ideas, and I'm like so eager to do them, and be able to just bring them to life. But because with my vlogs every week, they take up so much of my time editing. I mean, if I could afford an editor, it would be fine. Then I'd just send it off to an editor and it wouldn't take up so much of my time. But because I can't afford an editor, it just, all my time is spent doing that. And the spare time that I have when I'm not editing my vlogs, I am doing mine and Rose's videos now. So I just don't have as much time as I would like to have, being able to work on the stuff I'd really like to do. And like, I was sat there today working on it, and like yesterday, and I was just like, I really can't be bothered with my vlog. Like I know, and I'm just like, I'm sat there and I'm like, I know this is something that I have to do. Like, I've got to get it out by Sunday, and I've only got a certain amount to do it. And I'm like, I'd rather just be doing something else. And yeah, I'm just getting a bit fed up of it, to be honest. So I would like to keep them going, like I said, but I've run out of options, I think, really. I mean, maybe I'll do like a sort of quick synopsis, like on a Sunday or something, like how my week's gone, and it would just be unedited, and I'll just put like a 10-minute sort of rant on my channel, so people that do enjoy the vlogs can see it. But yeah, it just takes up too much of my time, unfortunately. So yeah, so I'd like to just hopefully be able to do different things. So excited for new plans. Yay! Hope so. Can you do a video on the archaeology parallels of Tomb Raider, like the dolphin mural on Tomb Raider? Again, that's like something I would absolutely love to do. Although, to be honest, Chris has just done it for Raidercast, and I was like, damn it! And I was like, he didn't ask me, so I feel a bit put out. I'm like one of his friends that, like, you know, does archaeology, and he didn't ask me. Fucking rude. But yeah, I'd love to do stuff like that. And I think it's from listening to, like I said, I keep going back to them, but because of the ghost podcasts that I listen to, I just find them so enjoyable and so interesting. And to me, like, and it would probably just be like a podcast. It wouldn't be like me sat in front of a camera talking. It would just be me on the mic, and I'd probably have like a few pictures sort of going across the screen and stuff, just so you, like, people can listen. I did dabble when I first started my was this gonna be, yeah, there's Jay. Didn't miss him. No, I did dabble a bit with ghost stories, like right at the beginning of my channel, but no one really watched them, so that's why I kind of steered away from it. But I'm back again to the whole idea of, like, I really just want to try it. But because I think I felt at the time that because I was doing a load of different things, that I just needed to stick to one particular thing, hence why I did gaming videos and a vlog, because I was like, well, there's the gaming and the vlogging is the mum's side of things. But yeah, I just feel like I need to change it up a bit. Now I've got a bit more of a following, I think maybe is now the time to try and change it. And I think as well, with my whole name, Gaming Mum Confesses, I think it makes sense to try and change it now, rather than when I've got, like, if I get more followers sort of thing, and then people know me, like I'm a real sort of more of a household name. Not that I'd ever be that famous, but you know what I mean, in terms of everyone knows me as Gaming Mum. But at least now with like the sort of following I have, everyone knows me and everyone knows me as Laurie. So at least it's not too much of a big issue, so to speak. So that's the whole plan behind it. But I do need to, there will be a lot of things. So what I'm planning on doing, I've got one, obviously I'm working on this week's vlog. So I was thinking on this week's vlog I will talk about the fact that I will be changing everything up and stopping vlogs. I just thought I should probably just move to chat, shouldn't I? And then I will do one more vlog. So I've got this week's vlog, and then it will be next week's vlog will be the final vlog, and then after that is when I will change everything over, I think. So Laurie 2.0. Here's Laurie, mother of Bubs. Right, we have 30 minutes. So what do we want to do? Do we want to tell ghost stories? Do we want to read some more disgraceful? There's no point in me starting up Tomb Raider 1, I think, at this point, because we've only got like 30 minutes, 25 minutes. So you guys let me know what you would like to do. I'll turn this off first, though. I'm glad we got to finish it, though. I was panicking at one point, thinking we weren't going to be able to do it. Play some Saboteur. No, because I won't get past like the first room. Refresh for you and can let your creative juices flow. Yes, that's the idea. And I love the idea of me and Rosie doing a podcast and like Nina coming in. God, play Tomb Raider 4 with no meds. No. Get Raph on Discord to ask him about his ghost story. Is he around still? Don't know if he's still around. Mini updated it and there's around 400 less bats compared to the Yoshi. Oh really? Is he toned down on the amount of enemies? I have messages on my Discord. Hang on. I would never. He loves me too much, apparently. Apparently. Being the main word there. Yes. I don't know what we would talk about though. That's what I mean. That's why I'd have to come up with different topics. I was thinking like Lorienne's Nerd Den or something. Get your butt in here. It's like Zen Play or something. It's probably on Zen Stream if he's on. He made tons of changes based on the feedback. I'm still playing the... Oh, okay. So you're still a glutton for punishment then. Play Would You Rather. So what I need to do, if I go on... where can I go on? Can I open Spotify on here? See if I can find some spoopy music. Because I need to get in the mood for that. I've always got time for something disgraceful. I've got Spotify open just in case he does come along. Right. I'm trying to think. I don't like reading too many. Bathing disgrace. He probably fell asleep. Or eating his soup and salad. Bless him. I need to take the fluff for a walk. Also my sort of beer. Ah, sort of beer. Yay. No worries, Chris. Hope you have a lovely evening chatting with your sort of boyfriend. So this chapter is called A Final Nosegay. Just, you know, do you want me to come and be an annoying child? I feel like Bubs is. No, it's fine because it was like talking ghost stories and stuff. So no worries, Feral. I'm still going. Could tell us one of your spooky stories, and we ask you. Oh, okay. What is in personal ghost stories, or I can read. I have so many ghost stories. I know which one I'm going to read you actually, because it kind of falls into the whole disgraceful thing. Where is it? 1 second, I'm just off shot. Haunted London, I think it is. Yes. Great book. I have so many of these. No, I'm not ending. I was just trying to think of things to do to pass the time. Trying to think. Also, yes, if you ever come to London, you have to do the Ghost Bus tour. It's absolutely fantastic. It's so funny, but really like trying to think what I'm trying to say. Informative, really interesting. Let's go spoopy. I'll tell you this one and then I'll go on about other ones I've had. Mine aren't really that spoopy, I don't think, though. I'm just trying to think where this one is. It's near. It's around here, St Bart's. It's near. Yes, here we go. Jay, just spoil it.
So much fun. Itching Fanny down Puppy Lane, winking face.
I think you'll find it Scratching Fanny, not Itching Fanny. Let's see if you can find the 2-sentence ones you were on about earlier and read those two. I'm ready to be spooked. I put myself with all the windows open. Video of Bubs chatting on the baby monitor. That scared me. Yeah. It was like, there was another one. Have you seen the other clip I did of him talking to someone? I was just sat there in the middle of the day and I was actually watching like top 5 spooky videos or something. And he just started talking to someone down the corridor and I was just like, who the hell are you talking to? And he just ran down the corridor talking to someone. My funny is it too. Okay, yes, so number 33, Cock Lane, was demolished long ago.
Fanny's exposed!
But in the late 18th century, one of London's most infamous hauntings occurred at what was then the home of a clerk called William Parsons. One morning in 1760, Parsons offered lodgings to a widower called William Kent. He gratefully accepted and moved into the house with his sister-in-law, Miss Fanny, with whom he had become romantically involved. Not long after the lovers had taken up residence, Parsons borrowed a large sum of money from Kent, but showed a marked reluctance to repay it. Relations had become strained between the two men when Kent was suddenly called away on business. Rather than sleep alone while her lover was away, Miss Fanny took Parsons' 11-year-old daughter Elizabeth to bed with her. In the early hours of the morning, they were woken by a mysterious scratching sound coming from behind the wainscoting. Fanny convinced herself that it was the spirit of her dead sister warning her of her own imminent demise. When Kent returned, he found his mistress on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and he deemed it best that they move out of the lodgings. However, soon after they found a new home, Fanny died of smallpox and was buried in a vault at St John's Church in Clerkenwell. When Kent pressed Parsons for repayment of the loan, his former landlord claimed that the scratching noises had resumed in his house and that they were the spirit of Miss Fanny, and that she had informed him that William Kent had actually murdered her. A local clergyman decided that an investigation into the allegations should be carried out, and the ghost proved more than willing to oblige. The wraith informed him, through Parsons, that if he spent a night by Miss Fanny's resting place in St John's Church, then she would answer any questions by knocking on the lid of her coffin. And so it was that the vicar, accompanied by a group of fearless companions, traipsed down into the church vault at 1 o'clock in the morning. When nothing had occurred by dawn, the ghost was declared a fraud. However, a secret watch had been kept on Elizabeth, who was observed hiding a small wooden board beneath her stays, and the trick was exposed. Parsons spent 2 years in the King's Bench prison. Elizabeth was exonerated of any crime, as it was deemed that she had been an unwitting accomplice, and William Kent's name was cleared. The ghost was consigned to the page of history as Scratching Fanny of Cock Lane. And I can see Cock Lane, Scratching Fanny. You couldn't make it up. Have you ever watched a YouTube channel? That's the one I was talking about, top 5s. I used to watch them all the time. He's got like the best voice. I love his voice. He's got such a good reading voice. I haven't watched them for a long while, but I used to, when it was just me and Bubs at home, like when Jay was at work, I'd just sit there and watch them all. Love them. Scratching Fanny on Cock Lane. And they do that one. They actually go to Cock Lane on the Ghost Bus tour, and they tell the story of Scratching Fanny on Cock Lane. I watched a Slapped Ham video once and they tried to tell me a spider on a doorbell cam was a fairy. It was literally a spider. I'm trying to think. I think probably one of the... I'm trying to think of like the experiences that I've had that I think like... that for me was quite convincing. We went to Warwick Castle and we did a ghost hunt there with... It was me, Jay, a friend, like three other friends. And these friends had never met before, but we so it was the first time of them meeting, sort of thing. But they both had really always wanted to do a ghost hunt. One of the friends, she was she'd always said that she was quite sensitive to that sort of stuff, so that's why she'd never really done a ghost hunt before. So she'd always been really reluctant to do it, but because we were like kind of like really sort of, well, like it's saying it was just a laugh, you just have a really good laugh sort of thing. Oh, no worries, Hedy, it was lovely to see you, have a good evening. But yeah, so she decided to come along because we said, oh, it'd be a great laugh and we can go out and get pissed and stuff like beforehand or whatever. So we went along and there was this one place we went in. I think it was one of the towers. She'd been fine everywhere else, and I think my friend as well, he had a bit of a hard time in there. And it was basically this tower and it had no windows. It was literally just a tower. And I think it was one of the oldest parts of the castle. And I can't remember, like, they always bring like a medium along on these sort of these like ghost hunts as well, or they say they're like a medium. So you will have someone from the ghost, the company, like that does the ghost hunts, and then they'll have their medium that they bring in, like a local medium or whatever, who can like reach out and say who they can see. Like, so they'll tell you the ghost story and then the medium will say, well, I can see that there's this person or this person, blah blah blah, and then they'll do call outs and stuff. And we're in there and like you could not see anything. Like, I've never been in a room that's just so dark, because there's, like I said, there's no windows in there at all. It was just pitch black. The doors are really old, heavy, thick oak doors, so you could see absolutely nothing. Jay can probably remember this one as well. And yeah, it just felt very oppressive. I mean, a lot of the time when you do go on these things, it feels, when you're in a room, like when you first start these things, it just you want the spooky music as well. I need to like find stuff that's not going to get me in trouble. Like, I'm not going to get like flagged for it. How's this? Let's see if this works. Here we go. How's that? Just someone. What even is that? No, we're moving on from that one. What even is this? We'll go with this one. What even are you? Oh my god. Just... That's better. There we go. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, it was just this really like oppressive like atmosphere, and we all had to stand round and we had to like, I'm trying to remember if it was like split between like men and women, if like women had to stand on one side and like, is that coming through the speakers? Yeah, it's coming through the speakers as well. What the hell? So anyway, yeah, so it was I can't remember if they asked us to split up, but my friend, she was literally like, I don't want anyone else near me. I want you to like hold my hand. So she was like holding my hand, and we're all standing in a circle, like we all had to hold hands. And I think Jay next to me on the left, and then she was on the right. And yeah, she was holding my hand. And I remember, like, because you had to close your eyes, and they were like, they said there was like a monk or there's someone with like a really sort of like a cloaked figure was in the room, and it was very like we weren't welcome in that space, and it's like it kind of, you when you think about it, you're like, oh, maybe they like were like winding it up so to make people feel a bit more on edge and a bit more scared. But I just remember standing there, and like I said, you couldn't see a thing in front of your face because there was just no light source at all. Like everyone had turned off their phones, torches, nothing was on. And then and I just felt really randomly, so I have to turn it down, and I just felt really randomly like I couldn't breathe. Like it was really difficult for me to breathe. Like I was about to have a panic attack. It was really laboured, like as if something was on my chest. And like I had to sort of like really like concentrate on my breathing, like breathing in and then breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. And I've never had that before in one of these things, but it did feel, like I said, I keep using the word, but it did feel really oppressive. And I was like, this can't be scaring me. I'm not scared or anything, but for some reason I just feel like I'm really struggling to breathe. And yeah, it was just like the most random thing, because like I felt it for like probably about 10 seconds, just like really trying to concentrate on my breathing because I was really struggling. And then it just lifted, and I was like, oh, okay, I feel fine now. And literally as soon as I felt that like wave of relief, my friend grabbed my hand really, really hard, like almost digging her nails in. And it made me jump because I wasn't expecting it. Like I'd just been concentrating on my breathing and everything. And then she really grabbed my hand and like really sort of like shook, and I was just like, oh, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm okay. And I was like, well, clearly you're not, sort of thing. And it was only afterwards, after we'd left the tower, because she was like, I want to get out of here, I really want to get out. My other friend had walked out as well. He was like, yeah, I don't like it at all. So he was outside having a fag. And she, like, when we came out, I asked her, and she was like, oh my God, that was horrible. I was like, were you okay? Because I was like, you really seemed really shook up. And she was like, yeah, basically she felt as if someone was standing like right in her face. And like she could just feel like this presence there. Like she didn't have her eyes open because she was absolutely terrified. She said she just had this she just felt as if someone was like standing right there, and she had her head down the entire time, and she felt really threatened. And she was like, I don't want to look. And then she was like, the curiosity got the better of her. And she said, she looked up and she could just see like the shaded sort of face, like literally right in front of her, as if he was literally about like nose to her. And that's when she sort of jumped, because she didn't think she'd be able to see anything. But she said she just saw like this purplish sort of aura thing. And it was in like the shape of someone's face. And I was kind of like, Jesus Christ. So it must have been like, because you have, when you go in these things, like I said, you just get very cynical of people. Like, I think when I was talking about the ancient Ram Min earlier, there was a guy again who was like, oh, I'm so cynical, my wife dragged me along to this thing. And then all of a sudden he starts talking about the fact that there's this ghost child that's holding his hand and wants to lead him to the other side of the room, sort of thing. And it's like, oh, for God's sake. So we had like those sort of things, and I was thinking, yeah, whatever. But then all of a sudden when I started feeling like, oh, I'm finding it really hard to breathe. And then my friend did that jump. I was like, oh shit. I'd have to bring something to wipe my ass because I always forget that happened, because it was such a quick thing to happen. But to me, it was probably, and like the rest of the night, nothing else happened. But yeah, it's probably one of the ones where I think that was actually quite creepy. In terms of, it was subtle. That's the sort of thing. If anything was to happen, I think that's when you that's when you can agree that it's or that's when you can actually say, oh yeah, there might be something behind it. When you had people say, oh yeah, I feel this presence and it's leading me over this way and blah blah blah, I tend to be a bit more cynical. But with that one, because it actually happened to me, and then my friend, like, literally after it happened to me, it happened to her, like, or something similar happened to her. Yeah, it's like the ghost, it was moving around the circle, because I think because there were some people on the other side that were saying they felt cold, I think, or that someone was pushing them or whatever. And yeah, you always, like, if you stand there in a dark room and you've just had someone tell you a ghost story and you're on your own or you're with friends or whatever, and you get that, like, you feel threatened anyway, you feel like you're prepared for something to happen, you, like, your body naturally sways anyways, so you'll feel yourself moving forward or whatever, and you're like, oh no, I feel like someone's pushing me. It's like, no, it's just all your senses are heightened, so you just start to, like, just pick things out and be like, oh, that's obviously a ghost. It's like, no, it's just, again, the psychology of fear. So it's very like, fear, like, I can't remember what it was that Kieran said, it's a very powerful emotion, and it can convince you of a lot of things that aren't necessarily true. The mind will start to hyper focus on things. Yes, like I said, I think the other one that comes to mind as well was, we went to Alton Towers. We actually did a ghost hunt at Alton Towers. I'd always wanted to go in the actual house at Alton Towers, because I always loved it. It always looked really creepy and really spooky, and we were actually able to do a ghost hunt there, and I absolutely loved it. And it's really sad because the house itself, it looks beautiful on the outside, but it's a complete shell on the inside, because during the war they just gutted it and used all the stuff for the war effort. And Jay is a really good one to have on a ghost hunt, because he's up for anything. And we went into the basement, and it was like it was where the kitchen was, and like I said, nothing in that house would actually tell you what those rooms were for, because everything had just been completely gutted. There was nothing that could, like, you could identify, oh, this was a kitchen, this was the living room or whatever. So it was just walls, that was it. And Jay was asked to go in the next room, or it was basically like the guy that was running it was like, oh, will someone go in the next room? Is there anyone brave enough that will go in the next room by themselves and see if anything happens? So we all stood in a circle, and Jay was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and do it. So Jay goes into the next room. We can't see anything because, like, he's gone into the other room. And then all of a sudden there was like the guy asked, oh, if anyone's there, can you show us, like, let us know that you're here, sort of thing. And you just heard like a really big sort of like clump of stone or something, just like, because there was a corridor, because like there was a big corridor and all the rooms sort of led off of that. And we were in the first room, and then Jay was in the next room, and it was like it sounded like a stone had been thrown outside in the corridor, and everyone was like, oh, what the fuck was that, sort of thing. Oh, thank you so much, Callum, for the follow. Are you a Spoopy fan or a Tomb Raider fan? welcome to the Spoopy stream, current Spoopy stream. But yes, so we heard this thing, and everyone was like, what the fuck was that? And and the guy shouted out to Jay, he was like, so did you hear that? And all you could hear was Jay in the other room being like, yeah. And then the guy asked him, so where did you see where that went, or did you, like, where did it hit? Did you hear it? And he was like, yeah, it sounded like it was just outside of the room from me, or like in the corner of the room or whatever. But like, no one else was there. It was literally us in that room, and then Jay in the other room by himself. But it was just a whole thing of Jay just being like, yeah, I heard it. I'm really freaking out now. That one, but that one was quite a good one. I'm trying to think of other ones. I don't know if Jay has any that he can think of. I really can't remember any, like, that we've done. I think the first one we've done, I'm trying to think of the name of it. I know it was at Stratford upon Avon, so like Shakespeare country. It's can't think of the name. I'm a bit of both. I've seen a ghost before. My house is haunted. My little girl has an invisible friend who she plays with. Excellent. I love that shit. I was really hoping that Bubs would have an imaginary friend, that ends up being like a ghost or something, but it never happened. Like I said, sometimes he said like good night nanny or whatever, or nanny standing in the corner of the room and stuff, so we think it might have been my nan, because she died when he was 7 months old, and she actually died while he was in the room. We were visiting her and she passed away while we were all in the room with her. So and she absolutely loved kids. So yeah, we always like to think she's watching over him, and maybe more so than we'd actually thought. So, but that's why I'd really like to go to a medium as well to see if they'd pick up on that, because I just find that really interesting. Nina, sorry, I'll catch up on your one. Similar to what happened to me, it was subtle for days on end. When I was in bed, I had this underlying paranoia of rolling over and having my back to the window, and then one night I decided I was being silly, rolled over, and then within maybe 20 to 30 seconds someone poked me in the back. Ooh, no. Oh, I hate that. Anyway, I also got Isaac out of his room and we were in the living room until my ex got home from work at like 5 a.m. I don't want to go back in the bedroom. Oh, bless you. I can imagine that would really freak you out. Epsom 2 a.m. Oh, yeah. No, it went 2 a.m. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning or something. But yeah, that was freaky. There were like our apartment in Epsom, when we used to live, it was 17th century. It was like 1780 or something it was built. And a lot of people that have seen it, like the whole reason we picked it was because it was so old, because I've lived in like 1970s build my entire life, and I always wanted to live somewhere with like character and that had history. And we found this place in Epsom, and a lot of people say it was like Croft Manor. It's very much like, it's got that sort of feel to it. But I can remember the day we moved in, I did not want to walk into that flat by myself. I was so freaked out. I didn't know what it was. I just did not feel like I was welcome at all. But yeah, because it was basically the landlord lived in the bottom 2 floors. And then there was the 2 floors above that were flats. So there was two flats on our floor, and there was 2 flats above us. And I know the floor above us was servants' quarters. I don't know about our floor though. I don't know if that was servants' quarters. I don't think it was. I think that might have been main bedrooms or something. But obviously the layout of the floors were just like plasterboarded up to make them into separate flats and stuff. But I can still remember like Jay, because we only had stairs going up as well, because it was a grade 2 listed building, so they couldn't have a lift in there. So we had to bring everything up the stairs, put it at the top of the stairs, like in front of our flat, and then go back down to the car and bring stuff up. And because it was a private residence as well, we couldn't park in front of the house. We had to park outside at the gates. So it was a long old journey, like having to bring everything in. And yeah, I remember like Jay was like, right, I'm going to go down and get some stuff. And I could have been taking stuff into the flat, but I just stood there. I was like, I do not want to go in that flat by myself. Like, I'd loved it when we'd been in and visited and stuff, and when people was with me, I was fine, but I just could not be in that flat by myself. I did not enjoy it. I honestly think if there was anything there, it was like a bloke. I had a feeling it was like the owner of the house, and it was a bit of a misogynist. That's the feeling I got from it, because I'd had it there as well when I hated being in the shower and like washing my hair or whatever, and then thinking I'm literally going to open my eyes and there's going to be someone standing there. Jay had it as well. Yeah, Jay has some really good stories about like where he used to live as well. Definitely we'll have to get Jay on to talk about his ghost stories as well. But yeah, so I remember sitting on the bed once after I just had a shower, so I was like drying myself off. I think I must have been like looking at my phone or something, so I was still in my towel. And I felt someone poke my shoulder, and that really freaked me out, like really, really freaked me out. Jay was in the flat, luckily, so I was kind of like, I know Jay's still here, so it's fine. And it's also in that flat that I started getting sleep paralysis as well. I never had sleep paralysis before actually living in that flat. And it's weird because my job at the time wasn't exactly stressful. I mean, we did get married, like we planned our wedding and stuff while we were still living there, but which was probably one of the most stressful times of my life. But I don't think I had any sleep paralysis while I was planning the wedding. It just seemed to be like a very normal like period of our life. There wasn't anything like stressful going on or anything, and that's when they say like sleep paralysis is meant to affect you, is when you've got some stresses going on in your life. I don't know. The only explanation I can think of is it's got something to do with, because there was a main road outside the house, and obviously because there are really old sash windows, that maybe like the something from the traffic, like energy or like something, like the fumes or whatever, was getting into the room of a night and just making me have these like really trippy dreams. But yeah, it was always that I'd wake up, I couldn't move, and it would always be that there was someone, like really something really dark and sinister, standing in the corner of the room, and they were like coming closer to me, and I just couldn't, like I could turn and look at Jay, who was fast asleep, but I couldn't scream, I couldn't do anything. I just had to lay there. And I can still remember the last time I actually had an episode of sleep paralysis was after I'd watched a documentary about it, and I was laying there, and like we had a wardrobe in the corner of the room right next to the window, and I remember laying there and looking down there and seeing like there was this like dark shadow, and I had that whole thing again of as if I could see someone there, and I could just feel my heart was like just racing. But I was like, no, it's just a figment of your imagination. It's fine. It's like, it will pass if you just like calm yourself down. And I did. And I just like concentrated again on my breathing and just slowed my breathing down. And I just stared at that corner for ages. And then I realised as I was staring at it, it just faded away. And all it was just a shadow from the curtain. But yeah, it is a freaky place. And there was another time, this, like what Jay told me about, was I'd gone out for an evening with some friends from work. And he was in the flat by himself, and he knew I was on my way home, but I hadn't, because I was on a train with my friends, I hadn't told him, like I hadn't kept him up to date on where I was, and so he didn't know whereabouts I was. And then normally you hear, like, you know, when you have familiar sounds in your house, like, you know, when someone's walking down the corridor or when someone's walked into the room or something. And he thought he'd heard the front door open and me walk down the corridor. So he turned to say, oh, how was it, sort of thing. How was your evening? And when he turned to look, because our sofa was like, the door was like behind us, to walk into the living room, because it was a really long corridor. And again, all the rooms kind of like branched off that long corridor. And yeah, so he looked down the corridor to be like, oh, how was your evening, sort of thing. And no one was there. So he was like, what the fuck? And it was like 10 minutes later I actually came back home, and he was like, oh, that was just really freaky. Anyway, I'll catch up on stories. Where was it? But yeah, the one that Jay's going on about, I think it was like 5 o'clock in the morning or something, and we were just laying there in bed, and then our amplifier in our living room turned on, and it was like full blast, just playing John Bon Jovi. And it was like, what the fuck? We had been listening to like the greatest hits of Bon Jovi at like some point, so the disc was in there, but it was like the second track, and it was full blast, and we would not have it full blast because the walls are so thin in that place that like it would have just disturbed everyone. So yeah, it was quite freaky. But I love that place. But yeah, I definitely think it definitely felt like, if it was anything, it was like some 18th century sort of toff who just did not like the fact that a woman was in his study or something. It must have been like his games room where he used to sit and play poker or something with his mates. And yeah, he didn't like the fact that I was there, because that's what it felt like. It felt like I just was not welcome there. And that's it. But again, that's if there was anyone even there. So Callum, what you're saying? I was reading her a book at bedtime a few weeks ago, and she mentioned William, who wanted another one. So I said, okay, you and William get comfy, and Neve, my daughter, said he's not in bed, he stood behind you. Oh no. I went ice cold too, top to bottom. There was a blind man who lived here before us, and one night me and my partner could hear tapping on the skirting board, and was sounding like his stick. Oh my god. That's so cool though. I'd love to have something like that, especially because it doesn't seem then that he's that, if it is him, it doesn't seem like it's that threatening. It's just letting you know that he's there. That's amazing though. But William was my granddad, who passed before my little girl was born. Oh, so it could have been your granddad then coming to have a nose and see his great granddaughter. Mate, someone in the block is watching a horror film. I just scream because I would have nearly shat myself. Brilliant. I've had sleep paralysis before. Laid on my front, there was a woman dancing in my room. I'm sure one of your workmates after a night out. Oh God, don't watch Mandela Catalogue. It's very sleep paralysis. But that's the thing, is like I was saying at the beginning, I'm one of those people I'd love the idea of ghosts and like spiritual stuff being real, but then there is that side of me that will always try and explain it first. So like I always listen to these ghost stories and like people are like, oh yeah, I was laying there and I felt like something was holding me down on the bed and there was this shadow at the end of my bed and blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's sleep paralysis. That's easy enough to explain, sort of thing. I was going to say disclaimer, it wasn't me in the mirror. Of course not. But this was fun. I enjoyed this. It went over by like 8 minutes, so it just shows, doesn't it? What's the scariest movie you have watched that freaked you out? It changes. Because like the scariest movie at the time I can remember really freaking me out was The Ring, the American remake. It really, really freaked me out. Like it fucked me over so much when I watched it. But then I watched it recently and it brought back so much nostalgia. But I wasn't scared of it. I just remember being like, yes, this is great. For me, it was Hereditary. I love Hereditary. That's another one of my favourites. Because, again, it's scary. It's not gory. I hate gore in horror films. I think the only one I've watched recently where I appreciated the gore was the same guys that did Hereditary, Midsummer. I never know how you say it. It's either Midsummer or Midsommar. But even though it wasn't really a ghost story, it was just about a weird cult, like a death cult. But yeah, I found it like I thought the film was really good. I thought it was really interesting. But yeah, that's the only film I've seen recently where I didn't mind the gore. I think another one, Woman in Black, really fucked me over as well. Because I thought the jump scares in that were really, really well done. Like, I don't know for those that have seen it, but I just loved the atmosphere in it. I thought like they really sort of brought off that creepy atmosphere really well. And if you haven't, try it and see if you can the theatre production of it, because it's just so good. They do it so well. The girl in the cupboard scared the crap out of me. Oh, in The Ring, yeah, that's what freaked me out. I think that was one of the bits that freaked me out, was just her face. Not watched Midsummer yet. I'm too scared after. See, Midsummer isn't really horror. Like I said, it's not like it's not like like about ghosts or demons. It's more like the only sort of weird stuff that you see in it is just when they're having when they're tripping, because obviously it's a lot of drugs and stuff that they're doing. So yeah, that's the main thing. It's more the horror side of it is just what happens to people and like what this cult like believe in and stuff. That's more what the horror side of it is. There's only one part of The Woman in Black I remember, and that's the part when he's looking through the window. My soul, oh my god, yes. But I love that film. It was actually filmed, there was a part of it, you know, The Crossing, where the horse and carriage fell in and like the little boy died. That's actually filmed, I want to say local to here, but it's not local to here. It's actually like almost like an hour away, but it is actually in this county that it was filmed. So because it's quite well known for being quite a hazardous place. Like you can only get to the island because it is the same thing. Like there's, when the tide's out, there's like one road that you can follow to get there, and when the tide's in, you can't go there because you could get stuck and get killed. So it's but yeah, it's I just love Woman in Black. It's absolutely brilliant. So I really want to go and see 222 because I think it's like about like this woman, like they've just had a baby, and I think she thinks that the flat they've moved into is haunted, but her husband is like, no, it's a load of shit. You're just paranoid, or it's like a postpartum depression sort of thing. So then what they do is they invite their friends round, and they're talking to their friends, and like the husband says, oh yeah, she thinks that this house is haunted, sort of thing, because something always happens at 2:22 a.m. So then what the friends do. They're like, oh yeah, we'll stay around till 22 a.m. and we'll see what happens. And that's what it's all about. It's about like all the stuff that happens. But it's this Danny Robbins that actually wrote it, and he also wrote Gunpowder Plot, which is a new VR thing that we're going to with Rosie in August. I'm really excited about. So would I play scary games? The scary games that I've played, to me they were absolutely terrifying when I first started playing them, was Project Zero or Fatal Frame. I think Americans know it as Fatal Frame, but over here they're called Project Zero. They're a Japanese games. I did play a little bit of the first one, or was it the second one? I think it was the first one I played. I played a little bit last October, but I didn't really get a lot of attention. I think when we were playing it, I kind of realised, I was like, this game isn't actually that freaky. If anything, it's just the controls, like the because you can only kill the ghost with a camera, and it was only like the controls to use the camera were really slow and cumbersome sort of thing. So that was more the stressy part of it rather than the actual ghosts or whatever. But I remember at the time that was a really freaky thing. I'm trying to think of anything else. I did play PT when that first came out, but Jay had to be sat with me and it had to be broad daylight because that screwed with me. So something chronic. And also Jay had to play it first because I was too scared to play it by myself. I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to scary games. I can't do it. I get so, I mean, you've seen my anxiety just playing like Tomb Raider. I'm such an anxious person that I just can't do scary games. Like, that's why I've never played like Resident Evil and stuff, because I can't handle the stress. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other films. The Others I absolutely love. The Others is one of my absolute faves. Because I think that's a really good ghost story. I loved Haunting of Hill House, or is it House on Haunted Hill? The Netflix one, because I know there's so many different iterations to it. I've read the original House on Haunted Hill, and I do actually have it somewhere. That's a really good book. So yeah, I love that. I loved the latest series, and I'm so excited for the new one. Haunting of Bly Manor, that was the other one. The Bly Manor is technically local to us, set in Essex. But that was really freaky. Did anyone watch that? It's a woman without a face. Oh, that's what freaks me out. I'm trying to think if I have the book. There was this one book that my sister had as a kid, and it used to really freak me out, and I think I tried to steal it because it was one of those ones. Like I said, I'm a weird person. I love being scared, but then I also don't. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I did see Your Redemption. I need to hydrate. This is it. This was my sister's as a kid. I don't know who the hell would have got this for her, because it's fucked up. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, it's kind of like Stranger Things. It's these 4 like young kids that go to this house, and I think it's one of their friends gets kidnapped. So these are the kids that go looking for their friend, and then they see ghosties and everything. But yeah, and it's like they find the strange manor in the woods. And this, how is that for a fucking kid's book? Seriously. Like, I don't even know how old this book is. 1986. My sister was born in 1981. She was 5 years old when this came out. What the hell? It was like, what? Like, but that woman is what freaked me out. Like, that. Like, what the fuck is that? That woman, like, she formed, that became my worst fear as a kid. Like, I was transfixed by it. I was obsessed with her because I was just like, she's so freaky, I love it. But that was like the epitome for me of the scariest thing I could ever see. Like, if you were to do a horror movie or whatever, and that was the lead sort of spooky thing, I would be like, right, that's it, that's the scariest thing I've ever seen. She does seem nice, doesn't she? Yeah. Something about the eyes. But yeah, it's if you watch Haunting of Bly Manor, like she has like the people have no faces, and that's kind of what that reminded me of. 80s TV and film was terrifying as a kid. Even Disney was scary. To be fair, I mean, my favourite growing up was Sleeping Beauty, because it was just so gothic and scary, with her walking up the stairs when she's being lured to touch the spindle. That's just me on the skull running. Brilliant. Signs as an adult I appreciate so much. I love Signs. Signs is such a good... To be honest, it doesn't scare me anymore. I think I've watched it so many times it doesn't scare me, so I'd never really count it as a scary movie. I just see it as a really good story. But yeah, other games that I've played, the Until Dawn I played, because I love that sort of stuff. I was going to say, yes, you mentioned the Dark Pictures anthology, Little Hope. Was that any good? Because I tried Man of Medan. I think I played Man of Medan, and that scared the shit out of me because it was just so many jump scares. But then I remember being really disappointed with it, in terms of, like, I won't spoil it for people who are going to play it, but yeah, the ending really, I was kind of like, oh, it's just really boring. Dark Pictures is thick. Yeah, I really wanted to play... I can't think of it, but it was, when it first started, wasn't it based in like ancient Mesopotamia or something? Wasn't it like based around like the origin of like where vampires come from or something? Layers of Fear, yes, that's a really good game as well. That was like very much very like PT, but a lot longer and didn't have the freaky woman in it. But it was really trippy because it was about this guy basically having this mental breakdown. He was an artist, just having this massive breakdown after he'd lost his wife. It's really, really good. Really, really good story. Really good twists and stuff. But that freaked me out so many times. It just made me jump. Really want someone to play that Madison thing. What's the Madison thing? Little Hope will scare you, but the ending is very odd. I'll have to look into it. I do want to play them like properly, because I've definitely played Until Dawn, and I've definitely played Man of Medan, and the other ones I'm like, I really want to play them and I never get around to them. I've just seen them. I've seen them on YouTube. I've watched other people play them because I never got around to them. You say Signs with Mel Gibson, don't you mean Bruce Willis? Am I really confused? I only noticed recently how clever that film is. Yeah, it's one of those things as well. Because it's a similar outcome, isn't it, as the others. Again, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen them, and I can imagine that being quite a reality, if there is such a thing as ghosts. I can imagine that would be what the actual thing is. It's difficult for me to say because I don't want to spoil it for people, but Sleeping Beauty, when the witch is in the fireplace. Yes, that song in the green eyes scared the crap out of me. Yeah, the music in that is horrific. CD player was great. I scared myself during the night. Oh, pleasure. Reminds me of when I used to stare at myself in the mirror too long and get freaked out. That's called scrying. Have you ever done that, Nina? Scrying is something like I've never been able to do that ever since I was a kid. I've never been able to do, because of Bloody Mary. So I've never been able to do like stare in the mirror in the dark. I can never look at myself in the mirror in the dark, and they always try and get you to do it on ghost hunts, and I'm like, nope, cannot do it, will not do it. But scrying is a thing, but I think that's just, again, I think that can be explained like psychologically, because it's just you looking at yourself and your eyes start to see things, like your skin starts to like age and stuff, and like really trippy stuff. Years later I found out that the scary song is actually saying her name. It says Aurora. Really? I didn't know that one. Outlast 2 gave me panic attack. I can't play Outlast. I think Jay played Outlast, but I just can't. That's not my my sort of thing. I don't do gory horror. I just can't. It freaks me out way too much. I can watch other people play it. I watched Pewds play Outlast, and that was hilarious. It was so funny watching him play it. I'm unsure what it is. Some kind of horror game. I only saw about it the other day, but it looks spooky. Medicine. I'll have to look that up. Signs. You know what I'm thinking of, for God's sake? I was thinking of the other one by the guy. I See Dead People. That one. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, we're definitely talking about different films. Oh, what was it called? Sixth Sense. That's what I was thinking. Began with an S. Twist is watch signs and think demons, not aliens. That'd be an interesting take on it. Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I did like Signs though. But yeah, aliens don't freak me out though as much. I think if I was to watch like, because I love the film Aliens, but M. Night Shyamalan. That's how you say his name, yes. Now what's the one, Mike Flanagan? Is it Mike Flanagan? Mick Flanagan? Oh, it's a comedian, isn't it, Mick Flanagan? What's his name? Who did Bly Manor and House on Haunted Hill? No spaceships, holy water. Yes, that does make sense. But isn't there like the spaceships in the sky, but you can't see them? They're like shielded, and then they just disappear. Now I'm trying to think of that guy. Jay knows who he is because we follow him on Mike Flanagan. Oh, I did get it right then the first time. Yeah, what's the one he's been working on? The Curse of the House of... It's an Edgar Allan Poe story, and I'm so excited that they're doing it. I can't think of the name of it. Curse of the House of something. Can't think what it is. Everything they talk about from start to finish is so important. To piece it all together, I actually love watching people react to it as well. I love like the whole swing away thing in Signs. I like how it's about faith as well. Like, for someone who's not religious, I count myself as agnostic, as I was saying earlier. I love the thought of spirituality, whether or not I actually sort of believe, like, thoroughly believe in it is a different thing. Oh, I love Insidious. Some Tiptoe Through the Tulips plays that used to freak me out so bad. Insidious is really good. I do like The Conjuring. I just don't... I'm just like I said, I think the whole thing with demons has been overplayed. Like, I loved the first Paranormal Activity film because it was just so different. Fall of the House of Usher, that's the one. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an Edgar Allan Poe story, isn't it? So I'm really looking forward to that. I've lost my train of thought now. Oh. Yeah, Paranormal Activity. I just hated the thought, though, that it was, like, it would have been scary to me if it was about a poltergeist rather than a demon. Because I just don't... Because I'm weird. I can see the prospect of ghosts and poltergeists being real, but I can't see the prospect of demons being real. Like I said, because I'm not religious, like I don't follow organised religion in that sense. So to me, I think if there is such a thing as spirits, then I can imagine there being like cheeky and bad meaning spirits, like angry spirits, but I can't imagine there being solely like an entity that's just there to do bad things. I just can't. I just find it difficult to believe for some reason. I don't know why. I've just don't. But like I said, some of my favourite films, like I said, Paranormal Activity I love, like Insidious, The Conjuring, it's all like they're all based on demons and stuff, and I love the films. I think they're really, really good, and they tell the stories really well, and I love the fact that it's all more about the creep factor than all, like, relying on jump scares a lot of the time. I know sometimes The Conjuring kind of moves away from that, but yeah, I just hate the fact that they're based on demons. I'd rather them be based on poltergeists. Or ghosts. Just the regular ghosts. Fancy Joaquin Phoenix in that. Well, he was a big thing at the time, wasn't he? Because he'd just done Gladiator. Love Joaquin Phoenix. My granddad was a vicar, so that aspect for me was quite interesting. I can imagine, yeah. God, that is what is that film, The Motel with John Cusack, Identity or something? I know which one you mean. I can't think of the name of it though. I did like the second Paranormal Activity. There was some bits in it that I think were really good and really freaked me out. But again, it's just the whole, being possessed and it being all demons and stuff. I just don't like vampires and werewolves. Don't scare me because it's just, and I don't believe in like cryptids and things. I'm not a massive. Sorry, excuse me. I'm not a massive fan of the whole cryptids thing. Or like aliens. To me, yeah, ghosts and spirits for me are the things that they're the ones. I don't know why. It's just they're the things that if something's going to freak me out, it's going to be because of that. And if like Dan brought up banshees earlier, and I'm just like, if I heard like a scream or something, and someone was like, "Oh my god, it's a banshee," I would not like that. Would not be the first thing that comes to my mind. I would not think it's a banshee. I think it's like a ghost. Because to me that seems more feasible. I don't know why. I remember the first Paranormal Activity. After that they all blend into one for me. I don't remember which is which. Yeah, because you got the first one where it's about obviously that couple, and then the second film it follows her family, and I think isn't it like them that sort of releases the demon or something, and then at the end of the film it kind of shows what happened. No, it was it kind of happens all at the same time, but then it shows what happens at the end of Paranormal Activity 1 after she gets possessed or whatever. It goes on to what happens after, like, to her family. But then they never really finished it off, did they? They, like, what happened at the end, I thought they were going to sort of finish it, and then it went on to a completely different family or something in Paranormal Activity 3, which, again, I enjoyed. Oh, no, it was them as kids, and how they think that the demons first started following them around or something. Yeah, and then they were supposed to, like, tie it all off, but I don't think they did. I think because people started getting a bit bored of it, but Amityville Horror I need to know more about, because what the fuck was going on in that house? Oh, you mean the true story? Have you ever watched BuzzFeed Unsolved? You need to watch them, because I think they've done Amityville. But I think they went to the house. Watch Paranormal Activity in our history class because someone brought it on DVD. Brilliant. Teacher said if someone comes in, turn it off. Amazing. That's fantastic. See, that would be me as a history teacher. I'd be like, yeah, brilliant, let's watch it. It's kind of historical. But yeah, I think that was my first ever horror movie, was Amityville, the original. I was about 5 and I was like, how my parents' house was it was like you just came down the stairs and you were literally like at the front of the house, and then you had to sort of back out on yourself and you were in the living room, like the stairs were in the living room. So I used to hide at the top of the stairs, and I like just peek down from like the ceiling. So like the living room ceiling was here, and there'd be me like at the top of the stairs watching a horror movie from the top of the stairs. And that was what I did with Amityville Horror. And it was the eyes. I think there was at one point, wasn't there, someone closed a window, and as they closed the window, they just saw these eyes staring back at them. I just remember that. And with when the priest comes in to bless the place, and all the flies in the room, and then there's just that voice that shouts "Get out!" That really, really freaked me out as a kid. Like I said, I was like 5 at the time. Yeah, BuzzFeed Unsolved. Yeah, they're because I don't know if you know, they've moved over to they've created their own channel, Shane and what's his name? Why can't I remember his name? But yeah, they've moved over. They've got their own channel called The Watchers, and but they're also what they're doing. They're looking to do their own like sort of, because obviously they left BuzzFeed, they're looking to do the same sort of thing that they did on BuzzFeed, but obviously they don't have the budget because they've gone independent with Watcher, so I think they've had to wait to get all the followers in and all the sponsors so they could actually come up with their own sort of what they did, like go into the houses or like haunted places themselves and bringing back that series, because we've been waiting for it for ages. They did a trailer ages ago and they were asking people like to recommend places to visit that is meant to be haunted, and they were going to try and like debunk or prove that ghosts exist. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But if you watch Watcher, they do a series every so often where it's Are You Scared? And he reads out like scary stories. When they first started, they were actually quite freaky. They've got a bit more weird now. Than I don't think they're as freaky as they were. Like they're not like ghost stories now. They're just scary stories. Does anyone ever think, when we were in a very busy place like shops, things like that, how do we know everyone is real? There was a book I read somewhere, that I remember very specifically. I was thinking about it the other day, and there was a book saying, I probably still got it somewhere looking at my my ghost bookshelf that I have, that it says it, like, what you should do is you should sit down, like if you've got time, if you're out shopping somewhere, you should just sit down with a coffee or a cup of tea or whatever on a bench and just people watch. And there's meant to be a thing that if you sit there for long enough, eventually you'll start to see that there's someone they're just not right, like their clothes seem a little bit out of date, sort of thing, and it's like guaranteed that's a ghost. I remember reading that years ago and thinking, oh, I would love to do that. Especially, like, I always imagine like going to Southend, because like I grew up near Southend, and obviously it's a Victorian seaside town, so I always imagine like sitting there and seeing like a Victorian lady in her gown just walking down the high street. So it'd be so cool. It's so funny, when my nan used to come and stay with us, she'd sleep in my room and I'd have to sleep in my sister's room on the bunk bed, and I'd stay up late. So when she put her horror films on, I could watch. Like, my sister doesn't do scary movies. My sister thinks I'm weird for liking scary stuff. So, but I've always felt that, like, growing up, because none of my friends ever growing up, like, my mum likes scary movies, but she's like me, she doesn't do gore, although she loves Walking Dead. But yeah, she loves scary movies. My dad used to, like my mum said, that was like their dates that they used to do. They used to go out and see, like they went to see The Exorcist and stuff together. But he doesn't really have the time for them anymore. Hugh, 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 how. It's been all. But yeah, trying to think. Yeah, so I know I've got my love of scary movies from my mum, and she used to sit with me when I played Project Zero, because she used to find that really fascinating and quite creepy. But she's never really been into like ghost stories as such, although she did actually. I remember she gave me a book. Again, I don't know if I've got it or if I actually gave it back to them. It was I might actually have it in my collection of ghost books. Yes, this is my parents' book that they took camping. They went camping in Cornwall and they bought this book, and it was probably my first ghost book because my mum gave it to me, and they would sit at their camping site telling ghost stories to each other. I can still remember this. 1977. This book is a year younger than Jay. It's nearly 50 years old, and I just remember reading it and thinking, oh, it's like the best book. Am I going to play Project Zero on stream? Like I said, I did try it last October and I got like hardly anyone was watching, and it wasn't as scary as I remembered. I remembered being really freaked out by it when I was younger, but it's not. It's tame, so tame compared to today's standards. So I mean, if people want me to play it, I'm more than happy to play it. We can make it when I change things up on my channel, when I do like spoopy stuff, I don't mind like changing one of my days maybe to spoopy streams. We can tell ghost stories and stuff. We'll see. I think that could be good for Sundays actually. When I finished Uncharted, what's this? They were just visiting. They didn't live there. Was this? Did you hear about the family in Norfolk that was in the news a couple of years ago? They were just visiting, they didn't live there, but apparently they were walking down a road near my mum's, like in that village, I think, or the next one over, and all of a sudden they went back in time. There's time slips. Time slips seems to be a new thing. I keep hearing about those. The road was mud and there was a carriage and stuff. The buildings around them that had been there weren't there. Like they all had the same joint premonition. Weird. I'll see if I can find the story. Post a link in the Discord. Yeah, definitely post it. Yeah, again, I'm not sure what I think about time slips. It just seems like such a strange thing. But I've with the ghost story podcast I listen to, they come up quite often. And there was one someone talked about, like a girl went up London once, and I think she was coming out of the HMV on Oxford Street. And as she walked out, she said everything just changed, and it was all like all the cars were gone, and it was just like carriages and like horses and stuff, and she could smell like the sellers that, you know, when they roast the not hazelnuts, what is it they roast when they roast the nuts? I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, when she could vividly smell roasted chestnuts. That's where she could smell, and she could smell like the manure, like horse manure and different things like that. And she said it lasted for like a minute, and she just stood there like, what the fuck is going on? And then it just changed, and people kept saying, oh, maybe she walked onto a movie set and didn't realise. I was like, I'm pretty sure you would realise that you've walked onto a movie set. It was in the news a couple of years ago, but I think it happened back in the 70s. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you should look at, I think it's, I can't remember if it was Real Life Ghost Stories that did time slips. I can't remember if she did a few. But yeah, a few of them have come up before. Chestnuts roasted on an open fire. Yeah, that's what made me think. I was like, I know it's in the song. I'm trying to think of it. You'd love to watch Project Zero. Oh, okay. All right then. I'll have what I'll do is, like I said, I think I'll finish the Uncharted series, and then I'll make Sunday my spoopy Sunday streams, and then we can make that like where I play like scary games and stuff. Maybe we'll do that. Because after Uncharted, because Sunday was my Naughty Dog streams, but obviously after Uncharted there won't be anything Naughty Dog to play anymore. So yeah, I can make that my spooky Sunday stream, and we can either talk ghost stories or play spooky games. So I like how all this is coming together. Martha is Dead. I've heard of it. I just can't think of if I've seen it. But you know who I love watching play? I love watching Markiplier play scary games. Jacksepticeye is quite good sometimes. PewDiePie used to be quite good, some of the stuff he played, but he's got a bit boring now, I think. But let me try and put these ghost books away, especially this one very carefully, because it's an old one now. But I read this like back to back several times as a kid. Yeah, my first two spooky books. But yeah, I just thought, because Callum, if you wanted to join my Discord, in case you want to talk more spooky stuff, feel free to join. Trying to think what else to talk about. I can't think of any other spoopy encounters I've had. I just always remember when Jay talked about his old school, because Jay's a toff, don't you know? He went to a private school, went to a boarding school that was run by Catholic priests, and he always tells the story. Did it actually happen to you, Jay, or was it you just heard the story where there was No worries, Callum. Be lovely to have you. Yeah, because obviously where he would board, they had like obviously the boys would have a dorm and the girls would have a dorm sort of thing. And Jay on top explains. Yeah, Carvey or something, isn't it? It's yeah, so there was a story that Jay had heard that, like, because obviously when you're in boarding school it's like lights off and you have to go to bed when all the lights are off, but obviously all the boys would get up and they'd like prat about or whatever, and there'd always be someone that would they'd hear, like, they'd be prattling about or whatever, and then someone would say it was something like Carvey or Carvey or something, and they would know instantly that meant a teacher was coming, so they'd have to quickly like scramble and get back into the bed to pretend to be asleep by the time the teacher got there. And they would always, it just came up like after they'd left school or something, someone was like, so who actually was that was actually saying like Carvey or whatever it was, like they all got together at like a reunion and they were like, well, it weren't me, and like they're all one word, or Carvey, I can't think of how you say it, but yeah, so they, like, no one knew who it was, like none of, like, all the kids met up and they were just like, no, it definitely weren't me, so they just couldn't figure out who it was, and then what they actually found out was what it actually meant was it was Latin for warning, and they were like, but there was no way any of the kids would have, as in the letter Carvey, is it Carvey, KV, that was it, KV. Yeah, so they were like, well, it's weird that they're talking in Latin, because they didn't actually have, like, they had Latin classes like years and years before, like the 18th century, because this is like Jay's old school was really, really old, yeah, so like the century before they'd taken Latin as like a compulsory thing, yeah, and it literally means warning or beware in Latin, and like they were kind of like, well, there's no way any of us would have known Latin because none of us took Latin classes had been stopped like 50 or 60 years before. So that was always, I thought that was a really interesting one that I remember Jay telling me. But yeah, it was KV. They just hear like a boy whispering, KV. We had teachers, we joked, had been there at its building. Because how old was it? It was really old, wasn't it? Well, I mean, the village you lived in was like at least Georgian. So, well, like you said, your house was like a Georgian priory. So I love all that sort of stuff, though. It's like, again, it's like it's a mix of like my love of history and this, like, the thought of like with mythology and stories and stuff. So, but anyway, I just realised the time. Anyone else got any like questions or any thoughts or whatever? Because I think it's time for me to end the stream. If not, God knows how old it was. Yeah, probably like 11th, 12th century or something. Not 1960s. Though my school was quite old. My original school, like my primary school, it was one of the first, I think, that was actually built in the town that I was in. So it was before the floods that happened. We had 1690s. What did you just look it up? Right. So yes, I think I'll go to end that here then. But that was fun, really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So we'll have to do that more often, because I always just think like, oh, no one will find it interesting. It's just me that likes all this sort of stuff. But seems not. Seems there is more people out there than I realised that actually do like spoopy things. So just look for someone to raid. But before we do that, let's have a look at who we need to shout out to. So Norsk, thank you very much for the 20 bits earlier, my lovely. Thank you so much to Ash as well for resubscribing. Thank you, Jay, for all the random bits you've given. Thank you again, Cyan as well, for resubscribing. And Hedy, who's no longer here, thank you for resubscribing. And Norsk again for the 10 bits that you gave. Elysium for the 5 bits that you've given. And then thank you, Callum, as well for the follow. It's really interesting hearing what you've had to say, the spoopy things. Oh, and now Rap appears. You were summoned earlier, sir, by Miss Angel, but you weren't around. Right, so who do we go to? There's no one playing anything spoopy that I follow anyway. So we could raid Jill. She's playing the forest. Is that freaky? That can be quite creepy, can't it? So I think we'll head over to Jill because I've not raided her for a while. So we'll head that way. But thanks again, everyone, for coming. It was lovely to see you, and I had a great night. It was really good fun. Good spoopy fun. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll definitely be doing that in the future. Like I said, when I've done all my rebranding and stuff. She was screaming yesterday. He was screaming. What? But yeah, so we'll head over to Jill. But anyway, love you guys. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I shall see you on Friday for a chill stream. Oh, Jill. Okay. So see you later, guys. Love you. Bye.